is going to become more than me very, very soon. But longer conversation. Aside from that, hey, I'm always in promotional mode. It's what I do. It's what I eat, sleep, and breathe. This is my baby in every sense of the word, other than it coming out of my womb, but it came out of my head. So I think it's a great time to announce a couple of quick things actually that I was a little leery to announce. I kind of felt a little shameful about, where I was with certain things. And God has just smoothed all that over, right? That's how good he is. Hands up. One glove on, not Michael Jackson. It's a little cold here still in Dallas. But we got the LLC done. We've been operating for almost 9 years now without the LLC. I had a couple other things and paperwork done. I didn't have the LLC and the trademark. The trademark is also done as of last year. Let's talk about all of the awesome stuff that a lot of us accomplished last year in the midst of a pandemic, in the midst of justifiable civil unrest, and everything else we were dealing with last year, right? And I was just like, God, man, this year we popped out a lot of stuff in the time that, man, folks is just trying to live, trying to find clean water, trying to find food, trying not to get shot in the street just because of the color of their skin. Oh, I could go on. But at any rate, it was a big thing, and I feel God always saying to me, you need to celebrate a lot of this stuff, and some of it is not even so much about you tooting your own horn, but it's about that what? Inspiration. Those three we talked about in education. Here's a teachable moment. One of the reasons that I didn't do it all of this time, and I've researched it, I've had the notes forever. I've talked to so many business people in my own family alone forever about making those moves. And the only reason that I didn't do it beforehand was because I was, at my mind, so much of my personal money was going to the business, and that was going to be another expense. And for me, my business, since elementary as it is, never took a business class. Shouts out to Robert Morris, now university, university, last name that we gonna know about. But some of my business students actually kind of put me on to a lot of things to think about business wise long before I knew I was gonna do this, right? But I clearly saw just elementary, hey, that's an expense I'm gonna have to pay every year, and the business is for the business, and the business can't support it yet. Why am I getting an LLC right now? But and that was also because of what my finances were. But of course, if you got it, go ahead and get it. But that's my philosophy on that. So one announcement. The other big one is that man, we are coming up on 10 years. Shout out to Janet Jackson. Funny how time flies. Look it up if you don't know about it. November, my actual birthday, 11/12/21, this coming year, will be 10 years. And boy, it's been a ride. I thank God for all of it, unequivocally. So we're going to do a couple of awesome things. Looking at another kind of grand party situation. More details on that later. Definitely going to do it big to celebrate 10 years of both the company, Rainbow Room Publishing, now LLC officially, and the first book, Love Something Infinite. For anybody that is familiar or not familiar, it is autobiographical fiction. A term I think I coined because every time I say it, even my English teachers used to look at me sideways, like, Eddie, you might be doing too much. But in short, it is where I fictionalize various aspects of my life. Growing up as an black boy on the west side of Chicago, very Christian family, but also learning over the time that I was a gay man and dealing with a lot of spiritual conflicts as a result of it. And then I think, as I said it somewhere else, another thing I'm good for using is just repeating words. You figured out a great way to say it before, why reinvent the wheel? But add to all of that, someone who later on contracted HIV, right? And so it's all stuff that finds its way into the book. But very proud of it. It's the firstborn, so I'm always going to have pride in it, not counting everything that came out of it. But funny fact for anybody who doesn't know, the book came before the company. I I did the book through what my company now provides, a self-publishing service. And so what that means is you give them the material, and they did, to my knowledge, what I paid, which I still feel was an inflated rate. And I'm not going to name the company because I don't want to go there. But they did everything for me short of the book cover, which they could have also done. But I made some different personal reasons why I wanted to have the book cover designed myself. But at any rate, so the book is done, and somewhere in there, God, however you call him, her, them, they, what have you. I know him as Jesus, and that's what I do, and I respect what you do. Just respect mine too, and we'll be fine. But he told me, he said, you not only wrote a book, you actually published a book. You need a company. And, other fun fact that I'll put out there, shouts out to one of my best sister girlfriends, Yvonne Winbush. She kind of comically didn't even know she did it at the time, but she inspired the name. Some of you remember this, at least a good 70 of you remember this. My crazy coming out story was via email back in the day before we didn't have Facebook. So there's a history lesson for you, Black History 365. So basically, long story short, I came out to a bunch of people in the email, right? And I had already kind of talked to family by that point. And there was an interesting response. It's still funny to this day, where certain people found out, I guess they got to talking amongst themselves and found out that they learned that fact about me at different points in time. And some of them, I think, felt a little offended and what have you. And so Yvonne and I sitting up and laughing and joking like we do about everything. She was like, well, Eddie, it was kind of like everybody got invited to Eddie's Rainbow Room, which is a name that I started giving my house because whenever I had to get together, that's what we called it. So it's not a total ripoff. So don't come for me, Rainbow Room. But she basically said that it's like you invited everybody to Eddie's Rainbow Room, but everybody thought that they were on the quote-unquote A-list. And what they did not know was that they were on the B or the C list. And the A-list had came through to the preset, the party, and moved on to the after party. And the B list and the C list got in to the party later, and then later on found out, there was a whole nother set beforehand. But at any rate, it was just so funny, and it was a joke that persisted for at least a year. And when it came time, when God literally said, you need a company, and of course the company needs a name, I promise you there was nothing else in consideration. That was the first thing that came to mind, Rainbow Room Publishing. And to this day, we have a 50-50 kind of joke, because I'm very truthful about it, that I owe her a check for that name. Not to mention all the other awesome support she has been all the years. But yeah, so that's the bit of the history. But yeah, so we'll be celebrating that in several big ways this year. I'm going to go ahead and put it out there that we're repackaging the ads for the first book. I'm very happy. Shouts out to Mr. Carter for that Smooth Love track. That song, no shade to my boy Ray Silkman. The track he gave me for that book the first time out, that So Sexual. Anybody who doesn't know it, go find that So Sexual. When I tell you that used to light up the radio lines. I want to say that was circa 80s and 90s or what have you. But at any rate, it was just that this song was in my head for the longest. I've been listening to it for the longest. Smooth Love by Mr. Carter. And when I heard it, I was like, oh my God, I just got to pay this dude. I gotta get that track in my ads. So we repackaged it last year. Like a lot of things we all did last year, we thought we was about to break out and do some stuff. And God said, hold on. The seeds are still germinating. The harvest is coming. Just chill, and so, but this year we're going to repackage it. Got to get into negotiation with you now that I think about it. I've been saying for a minute, Mr. Carter, that I got to talk to you, brother, about does the contract allow me to use the song again? But we're going to do what everybody has been calling for a long time. We're going to do a live action trailer. And a couple of people are hearing this for the first time, but it's going to feature the main two two out of the three brothers from the first book. My frat brother, Jackson. Sorry, I got a lot of Kenneths. But Kenneth Jackson, my twin. It's so funny that even my stepfather, even Gary Smith, looked down at that book and he thought it was me on the cover. And I'm like, dude, come on now. I've been in your face all my life. You know, and that's not me. But it was just always so funny. And then my other boy, Brian Ricardo. Oh man, brother, I'm slipping on your last name because you've always just been Brian in my head. But they're going to help me do a live action trailer for the first book, and we're anticipating it dropping around the anniversary. But aside from that, man, there are a couple of things. You know, you guys are seeing the book. Man, I wish I had brought it out here, but I'll share it later again. But you've seen the Jayla's Johns books, right? The children's literature. Man, I cannot. Man, Sanya Haynes, she's my girl. She's my girl. She's a new sister girlfriend in relative time, but we've known each other for 3 years, and it's feel like it's been 30. But she's doing an amazing work with Jayla's Johns. Anybody who has not seen the ads already, just know that this story is something for everybody. I mean, it's targeted because we all have to kind of think about a target audience to some extent when we first start promoting stuff. But yeah, it is children's literature, right? But it's the summary. Stop reinventing the wheel, right? The summary is that you have Jayla, little black girl, whose magical auntie, I love that she says auntie because I do too, Auntie Yaya, takes her state by state throughout the United States, and she teaches her not only the history of each state, but our particular contributions to the history of that state. To date, she has already gotten out All About Alabama, which has gotten some great reviews, and Adventures in Alaska. Real quick, you know, for anybody who missed it, All About Alabama is those for the most part, very common gems of Black history that we do know. But it is something to see how she handles that material for children. You know, and imagine, of course, that the setting we always imagine, and she imagined, this is her baby, her brainchild. I just got lucky enough to come along for the ride, was that an older person would be reading the books to a younger person. So not only is the older person teaching the younger person the history, but they're absorbing it as well. So we get the Rosa Parks and the Tuskegee Airmen, but the selling point for me on that book, and this is not me giving away the story, trust me, you need to get the book. It's only $14.95. And she got several great deals going on right now. And also shouts out to my dolphin, Tamika Blossom, with Brown Baby Books. She actually picked up the books in the sense of she's carrying them on her online bookstore. And she's been really great with helping us promote it. And we're already in discussions about stuff beyond even children's literature. So anybody that's looking to get your book done, I got you on your distribution setup. I got you on an online seller. I got you on interviews, because I got some folks that's just like, Eddie, anybody that come through from you gonna package it right, it's a done deal. It's just a matter of timing. So all of that on top of everything else you see in the services on the website we got out there. But she handles that content, and she talks about Bloody Sunday in a children's book. Now, you're hearing bloody and children, and it just conjures up all kinds of crazy images, right? But trust me, there is a way. I have learned, if nothing else, from my personal Christian walk, there is a way to tell every truth and for it to be kind, necessary, and truthful. And that is the way she handles this book. And on top of that, it goes to my three aims. It is educational, it is inspirational, and it's entertaining. I mean, the illustrations, man, y'all gotta get the book. But then we go from there to Alaska. And Alaska, not gonna give it away. I'm gonna say to you that one thing to know about every book is that from there on, from Alabama especially, she's going for the nuggets of Black history we don't know. I mean, she's doing serious research. I mean, she's going to libraries, she's talking to people in different languages and everything to get the cultural accuracy right for not only the black people that are spotlighted the most, but as we're moving into some newer books, the Native Americans. But the thing to look for in Alaska is that our people, if not for us, there wouldn't be no path from Alaska down through Canada to connect us. That's us. To quote my girl, my soror, Zeta Phi Beta, Sure Underwood, that belief is ours. That's ours. But that's what she's doing with these books. And for anybody who missed the announcements previously, the beautiful thing is that we are co-publishing the third book on. We originally started with a 3-book deal. We've already upped it to 5, and I told her the other day, I was like, girl, look, as long as I got money to ride Jayla's train, I'm riding it all wherever she go, But basically the deal is that I deal the lion's share of the promotions, and she does what she does best, the creation of this work. And it's also important to know too that not only does she write the books, right, and she knows they're for children, she knows the possibility of going into school systems, so she gets them scored like you would get a textbook scored, to make sure that when you say that it's for this age group, it's accurate. Furthermore, every book ends with a glossary of terms. My sister is telling kids as young as 5 and 6 about sharecropping, segregation, Jim Crow. She even went to and explained how we got to that Jim Crow crazy derogatory image. But it's explainable to kids. And I keep telling her too, in the midst of this pandemic, I know y'all sitting at these kids is driving y'all crazy. I can only imagine. Thanks to the partner, I got 3 grown ones, but I got 2 grandbabies. Love them to death. We have a great time, but trying to keep them occupied, good God, I have a great time when they come over, but yeah, I need a nap when they're gone. And this is perfect. Furthermore, there's a combination of things going where different books, they all in some shape or form have a coloring page. So not only do the kids get to read the book and everything, but they also get to color in an image of Jayla. So they got a whole activity built in. To my knowledge, the most recent book, Arizona Antics, the coloring page, I believe, is printed inside. I think with the other 2, we're still working out on logistics, but I believe that there is an insert for a coloring page. But we are already, we've already released Arizona Antics together, which is awesome. Shouts out to my frat brother Tony Lavelle Brookins for that track. I think it was Swag Vibe is the music in the ad for Arizona Antics. But my girl Sanya, she's on it. Check out the interviews that I've been posting all over the place. You'll see a lot of what I'm saying in those interviews. But one of the selling points I see with Arizona Antics in particular is that now we're getting into that interaction of Black people and Native American people. And it's a very respectful, mutually loving interaction. And it's so educational. Man, I learned so much just anytime I talk with Sanya, let alone when I read the books. So, Jayla's Jaunts. I'll try to make sure just look for the ads. Trust me, there'll be another one. You're going to see a bunch of them. But wherever you see Jayla's Jaunts, you need to click on that. You need to click on it. Even if you don't got the cash right now to buy, you need to click on it and just see what she's doing. Trust me, it is worth your time. It is worth your money. And God knows it's a worthy investment in our future as Black people. Us not losing our history, not losing the pride of who we are and how we built this country. We built this country. Don't ever forget that. And we can't let our kids forget that. And Sanya's doing an amazing job. with that. So I'm inviting you guys to get on that Jayla's Johns train, because when I tell you my girl is moving, there are 3 books out now. We're putting out another one in about a month, and she already, so we done been to Alabama, we've been to Alaska. Right now we checking out what's going on in Arizona, and I'm learning my states again, thank God. And next we're going to Arkansas. But when I tell you that my girl is already right in California, and for anybody that was feeling the movie that just came out, Judas and the Black Messiah, and anything that's dealing with the Black Panthers, oh man, she got y'all. She got y'all. This book about California is going to go into some of the Black Panther stuff. I've already seen some of the illustrations, and woo, my girl is on it, and she's already right in Delaware. So I'm telling you that the train is moving. It's moving fast. And if you're anything like me, where you want to get in on the ground floor and start the story from jump, get into this series now. Get into this series now. One more time for the Holy Spirit. Get into this series now. I'm so excited to be working with Sanya. We're doing some other awesome things too that are coming down the line. Another announcement that I definitely cannot, I'd be remiss if I didn't make it, is that we are about to finally, after a lot of great work, get From a Black Perspective, The Blood, Volume 1 of 3 out to you guys very soon, working with some awesomely talented authors. It's been the most amazing thing to hand pick. I was like, man, because I ain't gonna lie, this book is really about celebrating the diversity within the Black community. It's a book that is designed to have conversations not only amongst us, but more importantly, after we watched all this crap we watched in this election cycle. And why do we got it? I mean, come on, it's what, 2021, and we're still on this thing of people who actually believe, and I can't just indict non-Black people for this, but where we still think that everybody of a particular group all think the same and value the same thing. The thing that I kept hearing all the time, and it was great confirmation, I was talking to my brother Jeremy Carter over with Rainbow Lux magazine, about the fact that, we still got to debunk this idea that we as a people are monolithic, that we all value the same thing, care about the same thing, all feel some way about somebody rocking a cowboy hat and all that kind of crap. And so that's what the book is. It goes back to my 3 main tenets once again. Are we entertaining? Are we inspiring? Are we educating? And this whole anthology series is designed to do that way. And we coming out the gate, in my opinion, real good. I mean, we talking about, a short story from yours truly, but it's really about promoting the other up-and-coming authors that are in the book. And everybody that is in the book, it is worth knowing, with the exception of Sanya, who already is rocking it and doing her thing. And looking at some other stuff already outside of Jayla's Johns. Everybody else that's involved: Katrina Harvey, Ken Compton, Darnell Bonaparte, Crystal Tillman. Am I missing anybody? Was that 5? I think that was 5. If not, I'll come back to it. But it was about promoting them. And all of them have an actual book. So they got an insert of something they've done in this book. And several of those are a short version of the book that's coming out this year. And then a couple of them are doing something that's related, but it's a different work entirely. So this is a great time to get in. Like when I go to my favorite places to eat and I get that appetizer sampler, you're going to get a little some everything out of this, man. And when I tell you it lives up to the name of the title, it's From a Black Perspective. It's, definitions of manhood, should men cry. It's surreal crime drama. It's introspection. The idea of, I gotta love on myself before I can expect anybody else to come along and fulfill this long laundry list of needs and desires I have. It's man, my girl Sanya, good God, she is amazing. All of them are in their own right. Sanya, I just stopped right now because hers is a little more lengthy of a description, but she one of the reasons I even got the word perspective in that title, but her piece transitions And this is awesome because it's a breakout for anybody that's only known her for children's literature. But she follows the perspective of 9 different people in tandem. Similar to how you might think about a Pulp Fiction, where there's one main story, but you see it from all these different angles. But it's a story where we start in with, if you can imagine, we're in a book. Imagine all of us as characters in a book. And we start in with me on the camera, right? And I'm looking at, hey, Julie. I'm looking at Derek. I'm looking at Ralph. I'm looking at, oh, come on, glasses. You're not working. Angie. Angela. Angie. And a few more people that's way up top, sorry. But imagine all of us as characters in the book, right? And the first perspective, or the main perspective, is my eyesight. But then when this goes off, we all go to our separate spaces and do whatever else we're going to do, right? So imagine that the story changes from my perspective to Julie's, from Julie's to Derek's, from Derek's to Ralph, from Ralph to Angie. I keep saying Angie because I know it's Angie, but Angela. So that's what she's doing. But she's hitting on some awesome themes throughout it. Being a single black mom, being the stepson, being the woman who desires to have children but can't, being the single father of 4 quadruplets, and trying to balance that and a business and trying to have a love life. It does a lot of different things. It touches on the issues with how we need to take better care of the homeless, and issues with our healthcare system. Kind of all are highlighted. It's not like an essay or whatever, but it's stuff that you can't help but see and think about. And so, so she's doing that. And then, and I'm sure he wouldn't mind me mentioning him, but I love this brother. He is so humble in so many respects. Best-selling author of the B-Boy Blues series, New York Times best-selling author, Amazon best-selling author, James Earl Hardy. He came through and, without very little effort on my part, wrote an amazing foreword, so introduction to the book. So not only are you getting stuff from me if you like my writing, him if you like his endorsement of these awesome authors, but you're getting, like I said, some great content that is sure to educate, inspire, and entertain. And that's just the first group out the squad. And once again, I got to thank my brother Tony Lavelle Brookins, because, man, y'all ain't even seen the ad yet, and I'm already dancing around the house. I can't stop playing this little video over and over and over again. I'm going to stop saying little because that's disrespecting my art. I keep playing this video over and over and over again because, man, when I tell you the imagery comes together perfectly with that music, and it's this hot, funky jazz that even my granddaddy in heaven is like, Eddie boy, you own it. And I love that hat, But yeah, so look forward to that very soon. Some more information about when that's going to be available. And we're also working on a virtual book release, which will be kind of like a Zoom call where we have a panel. We're going to encourage questions in advance, but you'll have an opportunity to talk to all these authors, and ideally even to see, what the process of working with me is like, what the process of making a book is like, from some people who are doing it for the very first time, and it's very fresh in their memory. The other thing to know about that book is that we all share the rights to sell it, and we keep 100% of what we sell. And the reason I bring that up is that I want you to know that we all will be selling it individually, okay? And some people would say this is not good business, but we're going to go with God, what God says. I learned not to separate the two. That I'm telling everybody that, of course, if you want to buy from me, that's great. I appreciate it. Have I become a bestseller yet? It's on the way. God told me the other day, he reminded me. But I'm encouraging you to pick any one of the other 5 authors and purchase the book from them, especially if you know them personally. Okay, so we talking about anybody I went to Truman with, anybody I went to Whitney Young with, anybody I know in different circles in Chicago. You see the name on there, you see the 6 of us up there together as one team, and you choose to buy the book. I'm giving you permission to say I'm going to buy it from somebody other than Eddie. I am good with that. I'm set. God has already told me it ain't here physically, but it's here. I'm set. So please, please, please support these authors. Please, please show them that this step of faith was everything and beyond what they thought it could be. And furthermore, look for their longer works. I'm telling you, that forward that Brother Hardy came through and did, he's already endorsed a couple of different things as a commercial success. So get in on this book. Other thing I want to say about that is that I've already lined up the squad. Like I said, this is just blackly black in a way that I like. That it's like playing spades for anybody that plays spades. Imagine you're playing spades and you get to put the whole deck out on the table face up, and you get to pick out all the spades plus the big joker and little joker, regardless of which one you think is the big joker. I look at the visual, that's the big joker, that's what I go with. Whole nother conversation. But this was like me being able to pick out the best of the best. And when it came to picking them out, it wasn't even so much a thing of looking hard. These are people I have been talking to about their writing and my writing for like 20, 25, 30 years. And it's some of the stuff that's going in it is stuff that I've read that long ago, and so pray in advance for everybody that's involved in volume 2, which is set to come out in November, and for those that are going to be a part of volume 3, which will be roughly this time next year. Definitely going to be February of next year for sure. So remember the name from a black's perspective. Remember the name. I won't let you forget it. Trust me. Oh, also, shouts out once again to Sanya Haynes, again, the author of Jailers Chance, publisher with Palindrome Global Publishing. She that eye that you see on the cover with the 1865. All of this is very intentional. I promise you. That is her artwork. It's one piece. I messed up the name a couple times, but I think I got it right now. Evolution. Which, as I understood, it was like abolitionists, just the idea of the pursuit of freedom, securing freedom, and of course it has, every word has a straight up meaning, and then it has what we call is it a connotation or denotation? I saw a couple of English folks in here. Somebody help me. But it's what is said in the dictionary that it means, but then there's also how we all interpret it, or the things that come to mind when we hear certain words. And of course, for us as black people, we hear evolution and we think about the fight for freedom for us, right? Which also turned around and paved the way to make sure that everyone should be, we know it's not right and it's not being enforced right, but everyone in this country at least should have the same equal rights and protections and abilities and all of that, freedom to pursue our happiness and everything. Evolution. And the that 1865 Juneteenth, it's black be black all the way around is what I'm saying. But that piece is part of a collection. She already has like 20 more of those, and she's working on like 25. But it's part of a piece called Witness. So the motif stays the same, that there's an eye, but there's different things going around. And I encourage you guys to examine these photos as you see them, because she's doing a lot of stuff. I pointed out the eye in the 1865 and iris, but she has so much other things going on in that picture. And so, but she's the artist behind that artwork on the cover, and we've already decided she is the artist for the next 2 volumes, and the pieces have already been picked. They're awesome. I can't wait for you guys to see it. And somewhere down the line together, we're going to do a showing, an art showing of all of the pieces, and y'all going to come through and buy it. Speaking it in faith. So that's everything with the anthology, if I can remember correctly. The other thing that I was very excited about that's coming very soon as well is that some years ago when I was here in Dallas the first time around, I got to do a public reading, and I got to meet this amazing poet, Passion the Lioness, aka Danielle Hall. She's on Facebook under Danielle Hall Davis, I believe. But you can also do a Google search for Passion the Lioness. And so I won't go into all the details because I wrote a great review. She's just approving it now. You guys will see it soon. But not only is this girl, this young lady, a poet, she is a model. And when I say a model, I think I have to put it in there. I know people feel some kind of way about this, but I had to put it in there. Plus size model. And I say plus size model because there's a longer discussion to be had about quote unquote white standards of beauty. Most of us don't fit them measurements, but that don't mean that we're not beautiful. I only add that because I want you to know that this is coming from a place that we can all connect to. Let's put it that way, or the majority of us can. So model, but then she's also a domestic violence survivor and advocate. And she just recently wrote her first collection of poetry, Danielle Unfolded. I've been sharing a few things around already. When this review comes out, that review/interview comes out, I think you guys are going to be very impressed. But look for that book immediately, and look for a National Poetry Month event in April, produced by Rainbow Room Publishing. It's going to be virtual, from here, broadcast from here in Dallas. And it's called Save Some for the Poets. I feel like I know I heard the name somewhere, but I promise you I did some extensive research and could not find it. But Save Some for the Poets for late April, which will feature Passion the Lioness as both the host of the event and as the star performer. So imagine any other set that you've been to, comedy or whatever, where she's going to perform her pieces intermittently, alongside at least 5 or 6 other local artists, poets, and spoken word artists. So this is me. One of the big aims with Rainbow Room Publishing for the last couple of years has been to increase the genres, just honestly really open the doors and do what we really started with the company doing, make a vehicle for as many marginalized voices as possible through the publishing of their works, reviews of their works, even if I didn't help publish it. And now we're moving into, everything where it's about, the different interviews, the different ways in which I can put some of these people in collections like the anthology. There are a couple of other anthologies already in the works. And the other grand announcement that's coming a little bit later, and I'll explain a little bit more in a second, but the fruition of a dream that's been, I think 2014. I've had the logo for this for at least that long, but an art magazine, Kaleidoscope, which will cover, a very, very wide range of what we consider art to be. I'm talking about the literary works, we're talking about the visual arts, we're talking about sound clips for music, we're talking about video clips for performance art, we're looking for hairstylists, we're looking for nail technicians, we're looking for tattoo artists. I see you down there, brother Nathan Arts. I'm looking for the graphic artists. So it's going to be a great way to help me to promote all of you guys. But for right now, coming back to the more immediate thing, this is going to be a way for us to open the doors of Rainbow Room Publishing to the poetry community. Even the name, Save Some for the Poets, I really was stuck on it because I know for a fact, being a prose writer myself, who holds poetry in a very high esteem, because it's something I don't think I do very, very well. I hit the nail on the head sometimes, but there's, I think, a lot more focus on narrative and that sort of. Uncle Drex, there you go. We got to talk soon. We're gonna make that work. But the poets, I feel like, get shafted. There's not enough attention paid to them. They are doing some really great things. Even when I say that I hold poetry in such an awesome esteem, it's because, even like this video, I don't even know how long I've been on here. This has been about an hour now, right? But I don't say things briefly. I mean, in business, I really learned how to do it, but when it comes to the creative side of things, it's very tricky for me to get it all. Um, as I use that analogy all the time, man, stuff that takes me 5 pages to say, poets can say in one sentence. A badass poet can do it in one word, you know. And Danielle is definitely one of those people. And so I wanted to make sure that the poets got their due, that they got their due. November, I got the market cornered on November, with it being my birthday and it being National Novelist Month. But I've been itching to do something with these awesome poets for some time, and that's where we're going with it. So look for more information about that. We're still securing the venue. Anybody that has any ideas, ideally on a free space. I have a couple of free ones in mind and some low-cost things in mind. But, shoot me an inbox if you got an idea, or if you have a venue and you want to sponsor the event. Even with us having the artists there primarily in light of the quarantine, I'm trying to figure out a way to have a small, socially distanced, mask wearing audience present, because I know from the little bit of performing I have to do to promote my stuff, there's something to be said for that live interaction, right? So we're going to try to do that, but in light of having people there present, we're going to have a quote-unquote craft services situation. I already got a couple of people in mind here locally. Jared Smith, Small, sorry if you see this, Keith Clark Pegas, if you see this, Isaiah Thomas, you guys are doing some awesome things in the community, and we already kind of started talking about the idea that we was going to collaborate, so maybe this is divine order. But definitely looking at how we can bring in some good victuals, so to speak, so that these folks can bless us all with their art. So look for that event, Say Some for the Poets, late April. It will be primarily virtual. You will have the opportunity to tip these poets. I'm going to encourage you to do that. Several of them have works, like Danielle. Several of them have a book. They're going to be pushed to promote those books. So wherever you got a couple of dollars to buy the book, or a couple of dollars to drop a tip, we're going to put up the Cash App handles, the whole nine. All of us that are involved, we will be broadcasting it across our social media simultaneously. So that will be me on 2 phones. That will be each performer, ideally. So you'll have the opportunity to support the individual artists that you want from a distance. And if you ain't got the money, you're feeling some kind of way, man, come through there and click the hell out of that like button, that love button, and just give them some love. We all are out here trying to do it and get it done. And I honestly believe, I see this in my own life. I know this for a fact. When I close my fist, thank you, Pastor Johnson, High Mountain Missionary Baptist Church. When I close my fist trying to save my resources, I never have enough, and it goes quick, and I'm just staring, I'm stuck. Message to Texas in this power grid situation. But when I open my hand, not only is there room for the transaction of something from my hand to someone else's, but there's room for theirs to mine. And I'm saying this analogy to say that when I have supported, and I've seen this in other people, and if you want to give me a quick testimony in the comments, go ahead. But I have seen it. I have seen God work. I have seen him work. And when I say I have seen him work, let's talk about this plainly. I have seen him work through people. Our hands, okay? And I'm talking about when I have poured out support. And honestly, I need y'all to know, the reason y'all even hear this gospel music in the background, I have to get my mind right every morning. Scorpio, introvert, it is not my default set to give all this love and joy and inspiration. That is God on the inside saying, Eddie, let me out. But when that support goes out, for me, in a lot of instances, it's a knee-jerk reaction. It's Uncle Drex is doing something amazing. I got to go congratulate him. It's my cousin Rio Gore is doing something, and he's selling a product that I actually need or kind of like. Mama needs a birthday gift. Let me go buy it from him. It's Nathan Arts. We got connected through my boy Marcel Tennyson. He knows I need graphic artists like all the time, and I always know people that need a graphic artist. And every time I found myself simply hitting that share button or that like button, or on occasion when I had the coins buying something, man, the ways it comes back to me. Sometimes immediately, sometimes 10 years later, some stuff is still coming. God is sending in my head. Some stuff is still coming. It's planting a seed. Come on, Uncle Drex. You come on, country born boy. You know what I'm talking about. You planting a seed. And I always imagine a corn stalk. It's the easiest thing for me to imagine because that's what I've seen as a kid the most. Mississippi trips. That's where a lot of this comes from. Y'all like Chicago. What's up with the cowboy head and cowboy boots? Dude. Long story, but that one kernel goes in the ground, it turns into a stalk. The stalk has all these kernels. Think of what you give as that kernel and know and expect. This is not holding someone to an obligation. This is not holding someone accountable that, oh, I gave you something. What I've learned is you give and you keep on moving. You don't think none about it. If you can give it without them even knowing it. And more importantly, if you can give it without the rest of the world seeing it. I'm going to tell you right now, I sometimes may not accept something from you in public because I feel a little ashamed about the fact that I needed help. I'm getting a lot better with that, but everybody ain't there. So give it in secret, give it honestly, give it generously. Don't think about it. Know that your harvest is coming on the back end. It's kind of where we're going with that. Didn't mean to go there, but hey, we just rolling with the spirit. That's what all this business is, honestly. So much of that, y'all think, oh, he got the glasses on and he's been an egghead all his life. This is God's design. The Bible talks about the idea that he'll give you the desires of your heart. And I was meditating on that a while back, and I realized that it's not so much that he gives you the thing that's in your heart that you desire. He puts the desire for the thing in your heart. So that thing that you think is your dream and your business and your book, Mark Anthony Phillips, God gave you that. He gave you that as the desire of your heart. And that's the beautiful thing about this transaction, is that he will never give you an assignment or a job or a task, or in this case a dream, that he will not equip you if you walk with him, if you trust him to use your hands. My worship experience on a daily basis is when I get out here to this balcony and I open this computer and I grade them grades to get this money in here, and I edit these books, and yeah, my music may be going sometimes, but I come out of that experience later on like, Lord, look what we have done together. And I quite literally do this. God power. I'm saying that you guys have it. You have something. You have something. You couldn't have told me as a kid, even though my grandmothers were always in my ear, hold on to these little stories that you're writing. They're going to make us rich someday. Me and my grandmother laugh about that a lot lately because I'm like, Granny, I'm actually getting paid for this now. Those little things that I never thought anything of. Give it back to God. And when I say give it back to God, that's not you laying it on an altar and burning it, or necessarily even putting it into the collection plate at the church. Give it to the people. Give it back. So that's all of that. Perfect segue to the last thing, which I talked about. Kaleidoscope coming soon. Shots out to Whitney Napoleon. I forgot the new married name. Sorry, brother-in-law. But at any rate, she's the person that did the first book cover, Love Something Infinite. She did great contributions to the second book, which was primarily done by frat brother Kamon Muta, Sean Gadley. But she helped, with some of that. And then she did Love Changes. She also, came through for free in the middle of the night when she was working on a housewarming and did the cover for my publishing guide. And I'll put it out there just because I'm praising her. She did it for free. Y'all gonna pay. And I'm gonna pay her too. But did that. But she also, and she did the logo. She did the Rainbow Room Publishing logo. Now my boy Mark man, what is Mark's last name? Can't think of it right now. But him and Mac Julian, they did this awesome video trailer for the second book, Love from Behind. But Mac, he did the, Mark, he did the, he animated the logo. That's where that came from. But coming back to Kaleidoscope, Whitney designed Kaleidoscope, the art magazine, a division of Rainbow Room Publishing. She designed the logo for that back in 2014. And that bad boy has been in the crock pot cooking. And y'all gonna get it served up hot first quarter this coming year. So lots of great things coming. I hope I did the job I was supposed to do. Asking God, not necessarily you guys, no shade. But hopefully the message has been brought across that this is not Eddie's one-man show. You all have something amazing that you can